been elected as the Member of Parliament representing this area. For the last 6 months, we have been introduced to the local communities, and so we have sorted out together with DBKL various committees to put all these residents association all in different zones so that we can coordinate the effort moving forward. How do we communicate? So even though you only see the first town hall here, but in reality we have met a few times with your committee members, and we have WhatsApp group among all the residents association forwarding issues on a daily basis to DBKL, and so far they have been quite responsive, and I think your community here led by Carol is also very, very proactive, so that's why issues are very organized in Mont Kiara. The biggest challenge I face in Segambut is overdevelopment, and when I talk about overdevelopment, we have just in Mont Kiara alone 10 development orders, 10 ongoing projects, approval given before our time, okay, involving private land. This petition, and this is one of it, the one that you are all protesting. On top of this, we also have the very problematic Taman Rimba Kiara, which we are still sorting out. It was already in court before we won. In court, the judge said that the development order is valid. But since then, FT Minister has agreed to set up a joint working committee to talk to all the various stakeholders to find the next step forward. Unfortunately, in this particular case, it's not as straightforward as we want it to be, and there's a lot of political interference too from the previous administration. The lawyer representing the Longhouse residents, one of the groups in there was the former candidate for Gerakan who contested against Lim Lim Eng. So the political interference is there. The groups, they have gone to CPM, they have handed memorandum and all these things, which we are still trying to sort out. But for Taman Rimba Kiara, I've lodged 2 MACC reports against the former FT minister for conflict of interest in that particular case. MACC has confirmed to me that the investigation is ongoing, and so we are waiting for that. But Taman Rimba Kiara is very unique simply because it's different from the 10 development orders given in Mont Kiara. Those do not involve private park, do not involve a park for the residents. Taman Rimba Kiara is a park turned housing, okay, and that's why that case is a landmark issue in Kuala Lumpur, not just for Taman Tun, but for the entire Klang Valley. Now, number 2 is Bukit Kiara. You see a lot of projects going on in Bukit Kiara. What you don't see is on the map, they are all carved out around Bukit Kiara, Penchala and the rest, the hills that you see. Those belong to various individual owners, and they are Malay reserve lands. So it's only a matter of time before these landowners begin to develop. Okay, so when you see trees going down around Penchala area, the mountains, you need to know these are all, they all have titles. Titles all given out. Okay, it's only a matter of time before they start work. For Bukit Kiara alone, the former government has given out lease in the middle of Bukit Kiara. I have started discussion with the leaseholder to try to talk to them to move out so that I can have the entire piece gazetted. Discussion is still ongoing, so I cannot report to you on Bukit Kiara yet, but my wish is that in this term I must have Bukit Kiara gazetted, okay, as agreed. Yes. So, and the development issue in Mont Kiara is the lack of access road in the morning traffic jam, especially on Jalan Kiara 3. So for Jalan Kiara 3, there's no more road expansion that we can do. It's one way in, one way out. Because of that, I have spoken to the traffic police, and I've requested for the traffic police to be stationed there during peak hours to help to minimize the amount of time that people wait on Jalan Kiara 3. Now, you also need to know that the Deputy Prime Minister lives in Bukit Segambut, so she uses Jalan Kiara 3 to go in and out. Now, using protocol and security SOP, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister, both of them have outriders. For security reasons, they cannot be caught in a jam. for security purpose. It's not because of VIP and all that. So I've discussed all this with the traffic police. So for every person who have seen the outriders in the morning and you have sent me emails complaining about it with all the number plate, I apologize to you. I am unable to remove the outriders because it's for security purpose that the Prime Ministers and Deputy Prime Minister must have outriders. Okay? And so traffic police has agreed that we have to tackle that. So that's why they have sent in their manpower to help during peak hours, and we have received feedback that it has assisted in reducing the waiting time on Jalan Kiara 3. There are other access roads that YB Khalid will be dealing with later. DBKL is well informed of the problem in this area. Okay, water problem, we don't have a lot of water problem here, but in Manjalara side, Desa Park City, we have some ad hoc cases, so we are tackling that. Public transportation, so the MRT3 has been put on hold. It's supposed to come through Mont Kiara, but next year, DBKL and FT Ministry, they are going to roll out, is it 30 million or 10 million in free buses? 20 million next year in providing free buses like the bus Selangor in Selangor, where they will connect you to KTM and LRT stations, and they will travel through commercial area and in neighborhoods. So we are looking to pull some of the bus routes over to Mont Kiara in this area, because I think the greatest half-truth out there is that everyone in Mont Kiara, very rich, they don't need public transportation. Okay? But we do have a lot of poor living in our midst in Segambut Dalam, and all sharing the same road, and therefore public transportation is a must. I've been given allocation of close to $1 million by the finance minister. This is given to all the member of parliament. And how I've utilized that money here in Mont Kiara, I've given to the Residents Association for them to organize their programs. So this group also, they have received 5,000 from our allocation, and we give it out so that it's to subsidize your program. The other thing that we have done is to use that money to upgrade a lot of schools in our midst. A lot of schools are very under-maintained, very, very poorly maintained, and we have spent those money upgrading schools in Singapore. Okay, so I know the issues, traffic, overdevelopment, but for the local land that has been gazetted recently, there are 273 violations recorded in the Gazette plan. YB Khalid will be addressing later as to why he gazetted the plan. 273 violations. Out of 273, 29 of them belong to Singapore. Okay, so the one development order that I'm working to revoke or to cancel is Taman Rimba Kiara. The difference is that it's a park and not private land. But to cancel a development order for a private land, like this 51-story, would require compensation. And we have 273 of them that my neighbor has to deal with. And Mont Kiara alone is 10 out of 29 in the entire Singapore. The whole Singapore area constituency is very big. It covers half of Jalan Ipoh all the way to Taman Bukit Maluri at Desa Park City. That's our Singapore. It's the biggest seat in the entire Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so this is our challenge. I understand moving forward there will be projects that we have to cancel, and there will be issues that we have to deal with, but the reality is he is dealing with the compensation, and we have 273 of them, and it's not just this constituency. Okay. Finally, what I want to say is this kind of engagement is very good, so that you can hear from us what we have been working on. I don't have time to update you on what I've been working on that will assist you also in my portfolio as for women, family, and community development. But if we have time later, I want to be able to do that because that takes up majority of my time. But Monday and Friday, our service center is open in Taman Tun. I have a team of workers to help me serve all of you better. You can email us, and we'll try our best to get back to you. What we can do, we'll do. What we cannot do, we'll also tell you we can't do it. I don't want to lie to you because if it's not feasible, it's not possible, I'll tell you as it is, okay? So I hope this engagement will be ongoing. All our activities are all updated online, so you can follow us on Facebook and the website. Thank you so much.
We see a lot of condos coming up, commercial buildings coming up, and the best part is, in the next few years, we will have one building which is going to be 51 stories high on a 1 acre of land. And I was asking the other day, what's the highest so far in Mont Kiara? And I got an answer from Maran. I think Maran gave me the answer, 44 stories, and that's Asia. Also a very new development. They're still in the midst of building. And Asia, 44 stories is on a 10-acre land. And this is only 1 acre. And we're wondering, how are you going to build? How about the ingress and egress? You see, access. And then a lot of people like us staying nearby, we are worried. What if they do piling? What if it affects our buildings? You see, it's very dangerous for us. That's why we are asking a lot of questions. And it's good. So far, I think we have a lot of concerned residents there. They are the live CCTVs. You have them with cameras from the top aerial view, from the side. We have videos, we have pictures, everything. Right, John? And Lawrence, I think. Lawrence is here today. He was the one who had started the petition. I'm sure many of you have already signed. Where's Lawrence? Where are you? How many do we have today in total, in terms of number, who have signed up within 2 weeks?
We have 6,488.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you. Thank you for the effort. So you can see that this is... Okay, let us continue later on.
It's not as easy. From the first day, I was informed of the 97 cases of development projects that have been reported to the MACC by YB Lim Lim Ng, and we checked with MACC. I don't want to go on record, but basically what they wrote is in reply was that all the development projects followed the necessary procedure, and on the investigation of the corruption, it will carry on, but at the same time, the projects can proceed. So they wrote to me in black and white. For one, repeating it, all the development projects were approved according to procedure. For two, they can all proceed while the investigation is being carried out, because it will not affect their investigation. When I received this reply, I was not very satisfied.
When we get the breakdown based on each area.
Okay, this is like in Parliament where I'm asked a question and I'm totally dependent on what the officers write and tell me, okay? Because obviously I'm not the one who's going to go through all the details, right? Okay, this is DBKL's input. For Mont Kiara, the amount that's been collected is the amount that's been billed is 25,540,567, and that's outstanding about 6,364,000. For Dutamas, the amount that's collected for assessment, this is for assessment, is 1,948,000. Okay, and the amount that is outstanding is 1 million. Okay, Dutamas, right? No comment. I'm just reading. Nothing intended. Okay. Half the mass is 8,672,000, and the amount that's outstanding is 3,351,000. So the total that's been collected is 36,161,000. Okay, for the whole of Segambut Parliament, the total that's been collected or that's been billed 2026. The amount that's not yet been paid is 29,130,000. Okay, but I think the one that is when they talk about the amount that's not that is outstanding is not for the year, is the total outstanding. Whereas the amount that's being billed is for the year, but the amount that's outstanding is not for that 1 year. Betul? Okay, alright. So the DBKL guys has confirmed. Okay. Alright. The amount is, if you want to compare, that amount which is collected from the central business district over a 36 mile square area is 829 million. Yeah, that's just a comparison. I think our biggest collection is from the CBD, the central business district. Yeah, it's almost close to $1 billion a year. Okay. Right. I proceed to the next.
Yes, where a lot of people will be interested to know, based on the money collected from DBKL for the assessment fees, then what happens to the money? Like, is there a certain percentage that goes back to that area itself, or how does it work? Because last time I did ask this question before, and I was told that the money, when DBKL receives it, it doesn't go totally to them, it goes to the FD Ministry. And whereby the FD Ministry will allocate a certain budget for DBKL to utilize for the whole of KL. So perhaps then, Wiley, you can let me know then if the information that I received before when I asked this question is correct or incorrect.
Okay, it's incorrect because actually DBKL, they have their own budget, right? So just for everyone's information, this question wasn't asked, but the DBKL budget for 2018 is 2.9 billion. Okay, and that comes from not only from the assessment, but from other taxes, including development charges and so on and so forth. So the amount that's collected by DBKL, normally it doesn't come to the Federal Ministry. The Federal Ministry will get its own allocation from the Ministry of Finance. Yeah? We don't take any percentage from the DBKL. So the DBKL is here. If he disagrees, he will tell me. Okay. Okay. From the 2.9 billion which DBKL gets, actually the mayor should be answering, but he's in China. Yeah, he's in China, right? So I'm here with my bulletproof vest. So 2.9 billion, 1.7 billion or 61% is for overheads for mengurus is operations, and 1.14 billion or 39% is for development. Yeah, so that's the money that comes in from the DBKL is cukai taksiran, which is 41.4%, and from development charges, 0.35 billion, which is 13.1%, and from other income, about 45%. And at the same time, DBKL gets a government grant of 238 million, yeah, because the federal government takes taxes from everything, and they have to give something back to DBKL. Alright, so for kawasan Segambut, where the income for DBKL was 93 million, what we've spent for Segambut is 175 million. Yeah? So actually it's more. The reason why it's more is because they get the grants from federal as well, and also some of the developments. It is difficult really actually to draw a demarcation, because some we say, developments which benefit everyone in KL. So for 2019, 246 million is the development budget for Singapore. Okay, so there's a very big, very detailed breakdown. Let me see if they have got the daripada jumlah peruntukan pembangunan, three development projects in Mont Kiara, totaling 3.5 million, which is number one is upgrading the Jalan Segambut from Jambatan from the KTM bridge to Mont Kiara, which is 500,000, upgrading the upgrading the traffic flow and the pedestrian siakaki, the pedestrian walkway pavement in Mont Kiara, which is also about 500,000, and building a road, connecting road, Mont Kiara 5, which is 2.5 million. Okay, so this is already allocated for 2019. At the same time, there are major projects which is around this area. There are quite a few flyovers. They didn't give me the names actually for some of the roads, the highways. I think there are about 3 major highway projects around Singapore area. Betul tak? Ada dua kan? Totaling berapa ratus juta? And I can't find it in here just there. Okay, projek pembangunan kerja-kerja jalan raya. The details are, yeah, okay, never mind. But there are two major highway projects that will link up to KVD and so on. So, which is based for, supposed to be for traffic dispersion. It comes, but it's not solely for Mont Kiara or Singapore because it's a major like kind of thing like that. Okay.
Thank you very much, White. In terms of the budget, hopefully we can obtain a copy of it to share with all, if that's possible, especially for the benefit of those who are unable to join us this evening. Then perhaps we shall now move on to the next item, which is on overdevelopment. I think this is something where everyone who is here today is very, very concerned about. And firstly, what we would like to know, the question being sent to your side is DBKL willing to modify or revoke a deal if a proposed development, which is not being built yet, did not abide by the plot ratio set in a recently gazetted local plan, did not go through Rule 5. Rule 5 means you need to advertise, you need to put out signage in front of the proposed development, have an objection hearing, all the condos nearby can submit their objections, and then subsequently there'll be a decision on that. So it wasn't followed. And what if the land was converted from a religious plot of land to commercial land? So would DBKL be willing to revoke these deals? Or perhaps modify the both, right?
This goes back to the 97 cases that I had to handle when I first took over the ministry. All at different levels of progress. In the final analysis, it goes down to what will be the cost to DBKL. Yeah? If it is something which is not a major cost, not a serious financial implication for DBKL, then obviously we will do that. Like what I mentioned, there were about 10 projects that we cancelled the DO, we returned the money to the developer, and the developer has not paid the full amount, it has paid their deposit and so on and so forth, so we can do it. If there are financial implications, then I've got to study how serious, what it's like. I mean, this is the debate that's ongoing on the Taman Rimba Mont Kiara issue. So this is where there will be some element of how do you say, cost what benefit analysis, cost benefit analysis that has to be undertaken, because as the minister I have to take into consideration the interest of all parties involved, and whether I like it or not, this also includes the interest of for the rights of the developer and the interest of the BKL as well as the residents. Right? In the case of Taman Mont Kiara, it's made very difficult for me because the DO has been declared as legal and binding by the courts. So, but there will be appeal now. But I mean, this is the second time, right? So, Hannah wants to say something.
But MACC investigation is ongoing as to how the DO was obtained.
Yeah, okay. So that's my problem. Yeah? So if I was to straight away at this moment, where the MACC investigation is not yet over and it's not, I don't know how conclusive it is, or to what extent the investigation is going on, because MACC also is handling a lot. There are so many cases. I mean, so it makes so similarly, if the DO is there's some it's not yet then the developer they haven't started and we can discuss, we can negotiate, then okay. Yeah? But if a total cancellation, if it means that I've got to compensate the developer plus and all that sort of thing, including loss in profits and all that, then it's a very difficult step for me to just cancel it. Financial implications would be. So it has to be on a case-by-case basis. I cannot just say yes or no. But where possible, I will. Okay? Where it does not bring a serious implication to the BKL, then I will.
Sorry. Just going back to the DO again, because we have quite a number of cases that we have been looking at recently, especially in terms of DOs being issued. I did come across the FD Planning Act, because we have to study that in order to understand how the process like. But the thing is this, you did mention about developers. If you cancel, what I mean is revoke or modify, then you have to compensate, and you did mention about the future profits. But what I see, which is clearly stipulated in the FD Planning Act, it says cost incurred. So incurred means whatever that has been spent, not what is in the future. So the thing is, for example, I give you a case of what I mean. There's one particular developer where we actually, a lot of residents were very concerned. They haven't started work yet. And we kept on telling DBKL, we kept on, highlighting it. I think Wadi Hannah also knew about this. And when we saw the vehicles coming in, we were very, very worried. Because we know if they start work, then there will be additional costs incurred. So if they haven't, I've been also asking a lot of our developer friends. They say perhaps, maximum that they would have spent in terms of doing studies, getting approvals, about 1 million. But right now, unfortunately, for that 1 week that we've been highlighting it over and over again, a lot of work has been done on this particular plot of land. DBKL didn't even know, they didn't even submit Borang B, they didn't even put up a signage to say that they are going to develop what they're going to do in terms of that plot of land. So we're very, very fortunate. Once we keep on highlighting it to DBKL, we have very good DBKL officers who is, very hands-on. Like today, they just said no, they cannot do any more work because it seems like they have already started doing piling. And before that, it was nothing. And we were trying to hurry it up, and I'm sure we all know, once they start all this, it will be very difficult. More costs will be involved. They would feel that, or perhaps it will be very difficult to compensate them.
That's right.
So perhaps, can I just ask them, with this be such a case, can the FD Ministry or DBKL still do anything about this? Either to just say no, because guess what, YB, you did mention to me, for the gazetted local plan, that was 2015, right? And last time, this land was bought over by a developer. It was originally religious plot land. Somehow or other, it got changed into commercial land. But that was 2011. But in 2015, you did mention about the gazetted local plan. It's still institutional, religious land. So I'm just wondering what's going on. Does it mean to say that this is illegal for them to do this land transaction?
Okay, so this is where the addendums come in, the one from 2015 to 2018. Basically, the land use is actually being decided by the PTG, the land office, the land office. So when they change the land use in the land office, and the application of the owner of the land, then it comes to the BKL, with the usage already changed. Right? So that's why the MACC's report was that all procedures were everything occurred according to the procedures that were in force then. All these things we have to change, but because we want to have greater transparency and so on and so forth. But in the past, what has happened is that the land office changed the usage, and therefore when the developer bought the land, they applied, they changed it, then now they applied to the BKL comes up with the deal. Okay, how much exactly we will have to pay the developer? I mean, it's we can say, okay lah, we want to pay you just the cost. But if the developer chooses to take us to court, right? So that is when all these issues becomes, it depends on what the courts will then decide. So in some cases, where they have already started and they have already advertised, they've already launched the sales, they've already made agreements, then it becomes a lot more complicated. But in the event that there's very minimal works at the site, and then we can maybe stop it, then of course if we go to court, then hopefully the courts will say, okay lah, you just pay cost plus a bit. But you are still putting in because the contractor or the developer still has that option to go to court. Even though you can say that, okay lah, the agreement says you just pay them at cost, but they will say that they have the option to go to court, and if they go to court, then I think in MPSJ recently there was a case involving a piece of land where the MPSJ had to pay 150 million as compensation. So I don't know the details of the case lah, but that was decided by the court. So it doesn't mean that we can do just as we like. But Don has also emphasized whether we try not to give an impression as though we are very, we don't care about the developers. But obviously we try to negotiate, and we try to come to an amicable solution. This would be the best. So if in this case, if we are able to negotiate with the developer and we can come to an amicable solution, I think that shouldn't be a problem. But if they want to go to court, then it's a bit risky.
So thank you very much, YB, for the explanation. So does it mean to say that, I mean, based on what you've just mentioned, that effort will be put in by the FT Ministry and also DBKL to negotiate with all these developers who have bought pieces of land in Mont Kiara, Dutamas and also Hatamas within the next few months?
If the cases are highlighted, we can go and negotiate with the developers, I think, on the part of the BKL, there's no problem. Because all the depots come from the BKL, right? But as I said, out of the 97, I don't think this was one of them, but out of the 97, there are those developers who are willing to negotiate. In fact, in some cases, even sell us back the land. Yeah, but it's on a case-by-case basis.
The most problematic trend I saw in all these development orders given in KL is the fact that the plot ratios and all that were given without considering traffic impact assessment. So in many of the development orders, there's no traffic impact assessment on record. Yet approvals have been given. Yeah. So in developments where they already have new purchases, sale and purchase agreements signed, those cases I think will be very difficult. But for those cases where work has not started, I think we can consider looking into variation of development order. That means, after they submit traffic impact assessment, if it cannot go 50 stories, it should be 20 stories, then we see what we can do to bring it down. That's wonderful.
Some of the cases. Sorry?
Is DBKL at fault for not asking a traffic impact assessment in its floor?
Yeah, I'm not sure because as far as from what I'm aware, all the projects they have traffic impact assessment. But the only problem is the traffic impact assessment is being done by the developer. So that's the procedure. I mean that isn't that's what it is, right? So in our discussion, I mean they appoint a consultant, but the consultant is being paid by the developer. So in our discussion, what we said is that from now on, the BKL has to undertake the traffic impact assessment that was discussed in our OSC. We asked the DBKL to take it up, but in the end, we will bill that amount to the developer. Okay, so the consultant will be reporting to the BKL.
So coming back to the question, is it possible for you all just to stop everything until a proper study has been done, to address the ingress and egress before you give any more approvals to anyone?
Okay. This actually should be answered by the Bandara. I'll answer on his behalf. First, we've gazetted what we've gazetted, so nothing can happen against what's been gazetted, right? Without going through the due process. Number two, I think the question of the traffic impact analysis or assessment is going to be enforced strictly. So if there's any development that's being applied for, we'll have to look at that seriously before we consider. I would say that given the current situation in this area, Mont Kiara, it would be very unlikely that we will give any approvals for the development until the road projects have been upgraded and implemented and settled. Right? So we have to make those changes and upgrading prior any new developments. Okay?
With due respect, Desa Sertamas, which is a key area, which affects traffic from Mont Kiara areas.
We've heard rumors. I don't know whether it's rumors, but it's just told me that it's actually a real thing. The institutional land, Balai Bomba in Desa Sri Hatamas, for the mobile personnel. It is going to be developed into a high-class condominium. Now, this is what we heard. I'm not too sure. Can you shed some light on this? Because this area is already congested. You guys know that there's no way that you can pass through Mont Kiara, to Desa Seri Tamas without enduring a traffic jam. We have Sosiat building, which is a monstrosity, with ingress and egress, which is ridiculous. We've got Pasar Malam area, or Pasar, which is the market, yeah, which has been gazetted to a commercial area, and something needs to be done. Maybe. The bomber is a real thing, I heard.
I was informed no submission to DBKL as yet. Okay, so as far as if that is the case, they have to do the rezoning first. I can check whether that's been done, but from what I'm aware,
my office has checked with the land office. There's supposed to be a land swap, right? The rumors. But there's no land swap at this point, no agreement. The landowner is JKPTG. Okay.
thank you.
Sorry, just to add to Shukri's comment down there, I should. The building in Desa Sri Hatamas, the new building that's coming up, the society, I just like to know, how is DBKL going to administer the traffic there? Because the building itself is a ridiculous building. You know, built in a site which is not supposed to have such a high-rise building. You know, and getting the approval was one thing. You know, but how are they going to administer the traffic there? Because it's already ridiculous enough. You know, and I wish there's a representative of DBKL substituting the mayor there. You know, this. You know, so I know you can't answer this.
What's the name of the project again?
Society.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a public car park, and we are now building a 34-story building. A public small car park.
And did you see?
And the thing is this, it's not just that. Yes, we've also gotten complaints about them working on weekends. And guess what? I think about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, I received a call from one of the residents who passed by, and apparently there was some stones or something that fell from the top, and it actually damaged quite a number of cars there. So a report has been made to DBKL, so I'm not sure what's going on right now. And even while they're building, they always try to cover all the cars there to protect them. But the thing is this, if something were to really happen, well, I mean, if you go there today, it's just right down there, that's where people are walking, you know, and it's so dangerous. It's very dangerous. Can you imagine if 3 weeks ago there were stones, what can actually happen, you know, or fall from the building itself next? So this is something that everyone is very, very concerned about.
Okay.
I think we should give a stop order so that there should be a proper investigation done. Because from what we heard, initially before they started, there was no approval, it was rejected. A week later, it was turned around and given approval. So what magic? God knows.
Obviously with the previous administration, right? But somebody should actually, investigate that.
Okay. Since it wasn't in the list of questions given, so I don't have the answer tonight. Okay. But I'll take note of the issue. I think there is no compromise on safety. Number one. Number two, it's already been clearly stated by the mayor that no approvals for work beyond, was it 5 o'clock, is it? 5 or 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock, yeah? 7 o'clock, no approvals except on very exceptional cases, and even that we've got to see whether it is close to housing area and so on and so forth, right? So I have to apologize, I don't have the answer tonight, but I will get the answer and pass it on to Find out?